Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you with the DeKalb County Library System. And I have a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but I have a good number of people who like earrings, but they don't have pierced ears. And I've been thinking about doing something about that for a while now. I mean, you can always get the special little clips that you can use to put on whatever earrings you make to turn them into clipped earrings. But what if we did something a little different and did ear cuffs or ear wraps? Then you could wear them with your pierced earrings if you wanted to, or you could wear them on your own. And they're very, very easy to wear and to make, and even easier to wear. So this is one. I wanted to do several different kinds, from the very simplistic to a little more ornate. So this is one, and it's really simple. Basically, all you do is put it on your ear like so. Ta-da! There it is. Here's my ear wrap. Isn't that neat? And it will not go anywhere. I was worried about that. I said, well, will it like fall off? Nope, doesn't go anywhere. I wore this thing around all day and nothing happened. And this is the simplest one. Very easy. The beads of your choice. And then we have something a little more ornate. A little more, I don't know if that's Elizabethan or what period that is, but I could see Lady Mary in Downton Abbey wearing these. I'm making that up. Probably not. This is probably more flapperish. But anyway, there's that one. And you have the one strand hanging down the front, and then you have the cascading ones down behind your ear. And that's so neat. I love this one. I was afraid. I said, oh, all that stuff dangling around, that's going to drive me nuts. And then I went back the other day and I was looking for it. I was like, where's, oh, it's in my ear. So no, it doesn't bother me, or it didn't bother me anyway. So there's the second one that we're going to make. And you can see that we make these little loops to put the beads in to give it the cascading effect. And last but not least is this kind of chandelier type. Again, this is more, I don't know if that's flapperish or Elizabethan or what era that is. Edwardian maybe? Anyway, so there we go. There's that one. And it's a very simple oval loop or wrap. And then you just tier the beads. They're just more like a little chandelier. Very simple, very ornate, and just so easy to make and easy to put on. And they will not go anywhere until you take them off. That's what we're going to do today. All you need for this is your regular tools, your round nose pliers, square or chain nose pliers, and cutters. Been doing stuff all day. And cutters. You need a ruler to measure out your wire, whatever kind of beads that you want. I'm using a combination of bicone crystals and what am I using? Bicones, rondelles, and just whatever, really, whatever beads that you want. When you get the kit, you'll have an assortment of beads. And then I used, for this one that needs to be kind of graduated, I used some chain to extend the length on the beads that you put on to give it that effect. And did I use chain on this one? No, this one's just beads. And we looped it. Okay, so we're going to make that. We're going to make 3 pairs of ear wraps. And you know, you don't even have to wear both of them. You can just wear one as a, just something a little more avant-garde. and you can wear a different earring on the other ear. I don't know how adventurous you are with your earrings and the jewelry that you like to wear, but that's always an option. You do not have to wear two of these. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. So here are our earrings. And let's start with this one, because I want to show you just how to do the basic wrap, which is really easy. I'm probably going to go back to the other camera simply because you can just make an oval shape, but probably the easiest thing to do and the best thing to do, let me go back to the other camera real quick like. Okay, so what we're going to do is take our wire. To make this, I've cut off 4.5 inches of 20 gauge wire. All of our forms for our earrings are going to be 20 gauge wire, just so you know. So I've got 4.5 inches of wire to make the form for this one. And again, you can take it and just make an oval shape, but since you're making your own and you have the option, why not wrap it around your ear to get the shape that you want? So I'm going to wrap it around my ear, and I know if you're making two of them, it's tempting to just go ahead and make your little oval shape and then copy that on the other one. But I need to, you need to know that all ears are not created equal, and they may not be the exact same. That's not that big a deal, simply because you can reshape it once you're finished to fit your ear. Okay, so I wrap it around my ear. Here's my little oval. And then I just finish shaping it later. But that just gives you the oval shape that you're after. And then I bring the front down to just below where I want it to sit, because I'm going to put a loop in it. And then I curve the rest of it around to my earlobe. There we go. Ta-da. Looks like my ear. Ah, okay, let's go back to the other camera. Okay, so now that I have my little shape, what I want to do on the shorter end up here is put a loop in the wire. Doesn't have to be a huge loop. So I'm going to go about a third, about a quarter of the way down my pliers. And I'm going to make a loop going under and in the direction. Yeah, I'm going to keep going in the direction of the curve of the wire. So there's my loop. Then on the other side, I'm going to make my other loop. Now again, you need it long enough so that it just, I'm putting it over my ear again. This is a very challenging one to try to do on one camera or another. But I want it just behind my ear, just where the earlobe is. It does not need to hang down. And I know the length of it because I've got the other one here. So I'm just gonna put the two together so that I know about where to cut. But again, you want it to rest behind your ear, just behind your earlobe. That's where I want it to go. So I'm just going to make the loop. I just need about a little less than ½ an inch to make my loop. Clip that off, cut that over here. I don't have to worry about flying wire. Then I'm going to make another loop, still going in the direction of the curve. So grabbing the end of my pliers with the wire about 1/4 of the way down, and wrap until I have a nice little loop. There we go. And I want them about the same length. Shape may be different, but I want them about the same length. There we go. And now we're ready to put whatever combination of beads that you want on there. I'm going to show you how I did this one. So I have the beads already here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to wrap the beads. Yeah. So first I need to, the other thing you're going to need is an eye pin or a head pin. You can either use a head pin for the beads that are on the bottom, or you can make your own head pin, your own decorative head pin. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so the first thing I want to do on this particular one is make an eye pin with this black bead. So let's go ahead and put that on. And I'm just using simple wraps on this. And the easiest way that I've discovered to figure out how much wire I need without wasting too much is to put my bead on, make my little loop. So I'm just gonna go down about 1/4 of an inch down my wire, down my pliers with my wire, make sure I don't have any wire sticking out the back. I'm grabbing the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, and I'm gonna rotate until, let's get up there, I have a loop. No, not yet. Keep rotating until I have a nice little loop. There we go. Well, and then I'm going to take the tip of my pliers and just bend my loop back so that it's right on top of the stem of my wire. And then that opened up a little bit, so I'm going to close it. And there's my loop. There we go. Yeah. And then my bead, put that back down there. Oh, almost used up all my wire. And then I just need about quarter of an inch of wire to make my loop. And this way I know exactly how much I need because I've got my bead on there, so I can measure just a little more than 1/4 of an inch, probably 3/8 of an inch of wire to make my loop. Snip that off. And that way I have less waste. Okay, now I showed you how to make the loop and then bend it back. Now this way I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to bend it first. And I want my loops to go the same direction. So I'm going to bend it back like that. And take my pliers and make my loop. Again, I'm going to go down about 1/4 of the way down my pliers. Grab the tip of my wire. I don't want anything sticking out the back. And rotate until I have a loop. There we go. There. And if your loops are not both facing exactly the same way, you can see, I hold it with my 2 pliers. That one's flat. This one's kind of going down. So I'll grab it with my 2 pairs of pliers and twist until they're both going the same direction. Like so. There. So now I have my head pin, my eye pin that I'm going to use as a connector. So now I need to make my head pin for the ones that I want to put on the bottom of my dangle. So this one is a black bicone, 4mm, a 4x6mm rondelle crystal, and another black crystal bicone in 4mm. Again, I'm going to cut down about 3/8 of an inch of wire. I usually just eyeball it, but if you want to be really meticulous, you can measure. There we go. Snip off that end, and again, be careful. Don't want it to go flying all over the place. Let's see. Oh, here's a little well right here. I'll just put it down in there and snip it off. And there's that little tail. Then I'm going to bend my wire back. Grab my pliers, slide my wire down about 1/4 of the way down my pliers, same place as all the others. Make sure that the tip of my wire is firmly encased in between the tongues of my pliers, and rotate until I have a loop. Ta-da! There we go. And now let's put them together. I've already done the other one that's down here, so where is it? Here it is. So let's just put this all together. So we have one of the black rondelles hanging from the frame, and then I have a jump ring. Boop. A jump ring, and I'm going to dangle another, this one, from the jump ring, and put a little piece of chain. Where's my chain? Oh, I have to go get chain. little piece of chain. I thought I had everything out. Put a little piece of chain here and dangle that other one from the chain. So let me go ahead and get, oh, that one goes there. And this one, okay. So let me go get the chain and I will be right back. I had my chain. It was here all along. It was just hiding. Okay, so now I want to put together the pattern that I want. For this one, I put the bicone on the frame. Let's do that. And this is on the side that's going to hang right over my ear. This is the side that's going to go back behind my ear. So let's put my bicone on. All I need to do is open up the ring. Slide that on my frame, in my frame loop. Close it back up. Attach my jump ring on the bottom loop. And the proper way to open your jump rings is to put your pliers on one side of your loop and either push down with your thumb or twist with another pair of pliers. You can do around those pliers, whatever kind of pliers you have, sitting right there at your hand. And then I'll attach that jump ring to the bottom loop of my crystal. My crystal link, and I'm going to close that up nicely. Okay. And now my next one is going to be this little guy here. And it's going to be attached to my jump ring as well. And again, you can decide what design you want. This is what I did. One rondelle, 2 bicones and a rondelle, both attached to my jump ring. So there's that. Then I'm going to take my chain and attach that to the jump ring. I could have left it open, but that's okay. Okay, attach my chain to my jump ring. Close it up. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. And now I'm going to attach my other set of beads to the bottom of my chain. So I'm going to open up my loop, opening this the same way you open your jump ring. Off to the side, attach it to the bottom ring of my chain, close it back up, make sure it's completely closed, the ends flush with the other side of my wire. And there's the one that hangs over the top of my ear. So now for the other side, here's again my pattern. I have 2 sets of bicones and rondelles. So there we go with that. And that is going to go on the other side. So I have 2 little links of chain because I wanted to give it some extension. And you don't have to add all of this chain if you don't want this much length. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to open up the ring on my frame here, attach my chain, that last ring of my chain, close up my loop, make sure it's completely closed. Okay, and then the other 2 links are here. And I have my single rondelle attached to the frame. And then it's attached to a jump ring. And then attached to the chain in my other 2 little dangles. Let's put that on. Okay, so let's open up the ring on my little rondelle. Attach that to the frame and close it up. And there we go. There it is. And again, put it on your ear and shape it the way it needs to be. If you are blessed with earlobes that are exactly the same, then all you have to do is match the first one to the second one. that there's one pair of earrings, kind of a chandelier effect. Very pretty. That's one down. Put that over here. And let's see, what can we do next? Oh, let's do these next. I'm doing the more challenging ones first, and then I'll do the easy one last, so that you're not completely brain dead. Okay, I would have done this one first, but I wanted to show you how to make this little form simply because I don't want to have to show that 3 times. So basically do the same thing that you did with the plain one, except what you're, as far as shaping, you're going to put it around your ear and shape it. But for this one, I have 8 inches of wire because I need to make all of these little loops. And this may be overkill, that's okay. But I need, I want to have a good 6-inch extension here so that I have enough to make my loops. And then I can cut off what I don't need. So I have 8 inches of wire, about 2 inches of it is going around my earlobe, like so. And then you can see that the rest of it is going to be used for my dangles. So I've got the little part here for my ear, and what I'm going to do is make a loop, just like I did on the other one, except where that one I made the loop going inside the curve. This one, I'm making my root, turning my loop outside of the curve. So I'm going to grab my wire, the tip of my wire with my pliers about, again, 1/4 of the way down my pliers, and I'm going to rotate up and away from the inside of my loop of my frame until I have a loop. Okay. Now, from here, I want to make my little rings. And this, again, is going to depend on your own ears, because you want it to start about halfway down your ear. Go back to the other camera real quick, like. Okay, so I want this to start about here on my ear so that it can go dangle down from there. I had it on the other ear before. Come on, come on, get on there. There. So you want it to start right about here. I have that right. A little further up. Let me put it on my other ear. This one's easier. Okay, so I want my little rings to start right there just below the curve of my earlobe. So that's my first ring. And then I'm going to work down from there in 1/4 inch segments. Back to the other camera. This is a challenging one to do on camera. Okay, so check my marking on this one. Okay, there we go. So when you put it behind your ear, the easiest way to check to make sure that you have the right spot before you take it off your ear is to just bend it. If you bend it, it's marked. Okay, so I've got the place where I want my first loop to start. Check, double check, triple check. And I'm going to start by making a loop. So I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to just slide it down there, right there in the little groove that I just made. Again, I'm going about a quarter of the way down my pliers. And I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to take the long edge of my wire and I'm going to wrap it around my pliers. I'm going to stop till I have kind of a half loop. And I'm going to turn my pliers until they're on top of the loop and continue around, all the way around until I have a straight edge of wire to my oval shape here. Then I'm going to go down every quarter of an inch and I'm going to make another loop. So a quarter of an inch from where the last loop ended, right there, just beside the loop itself. You go in and make another loop. And if you have one already made, you can always mark it off on the other earring. But if you don't, you can do it this way. Make another loop. Go halfway around, turn my pliers, and then go all the way around until it's straight. And then just keep doing that 2 more times. I had 4. You can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 3. It just depends on the look that you want. Okay, check my other one again. Turn all the way around. And one more. Okay, and my 4 loops. This is what my beads are going to hang on. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like without the beads. And this is what it looks like with the beads. Very good. And when you're checking against the other one, and if you know, it's fine. But if you see that something needs to be adjusted, this is a good time to make the adjustment. This one's good. All right, it's time to hang my beads. So again, it depends on whatever design you have, the design you want. The design that I went with was, again, 2 4mm bicones framing on 1 4x6mm rondelle just twice. And I did that on the whole thing. 2mm bicones framing 1mm rondelle and dangling from a jump ring. All right, so let's get that going. Showed you how to do your beads on your pins. So let's do this. Get back over here. The ones that are already put together. And for mine, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will show you how to make the 5th one. So 2 reds, red, topaz, red, topaz, and this one is topaz on top and red on the bottom, and I'm talking about the rondelles. Topaz, red, topaz, red, topaz, red, red. Okay, so I need topaz and 1 red rondelle, and then 2 scarlet bicones and 1 topaz rondelle. So let's do our wrap, or I mean our pins. So the one on the bottom is the red with the topaz rondelle. And for that, I need a head pin again. Around the head pin. Now it's a little wonky there. There we go. Okay, put on one of my bicones, my red one, the topaz rondelle, and my other bicone. And let's make my loop. A teeny tiny little loop with the pliers. And these are really small, so mine's going to be a really, really small loop. Because I'm using 1 inch head pins. Okay. My loop. Make sure it's nicely closed. Yes. And then I need to make an eye pin for my connector. Oh, where's that piece of wire that I messed up? Yeah, no, it's not long enough. All right. And again, what I like to do is put my beads on. Bicone, rondelle, bicone, and make a loop. 1/4 of an inch down, I mean 1/4 of the way down my pliers. Rotate until I have a loop. We're closed. Yes, we're closed. Kick it back until the loop is centered with my wire. Just a tiny bit more. Here we go. Slide my beads down. Where'd they go? Oh my goodness, they went all the way over there. Slide my beads down. Cut my wire. Give myself about 3/8 of an inch or so for my loop. Snip. And my wire back the same direction as my other loop. Grab my tip of my wire, about 1/4 of the way down my pliers, and rotate until I have my loop. So that close it up. There we go. And now let's put it together. My connector is hanging from my frame. So I'm going to connect these two pieces together with a jump ring. Again, open up a jump ring, grab one side of it, one side of the opening, push down with my thumb to open it up. Put one link inside the jump ring, the other link inside of the jump ring, and close. Now, let's attach the top link to my frame. See a little opening there. Let's make sure that's closed. Yes. All right. You can either open up the top of your links or you can open up your frame. Either one works, just as long as you can get it on there. Slide that in. Boom. Close it up. And there we go. So now let's attach these guys. But before I do that, I'm going to cut this off. See how much I had left? Da! Hate waste. Whatever. So I'm going to cut it off at the last ring because I only need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut it off at my last ring here. Let's cut it right on the inside of the loop. There we go. All right, let's attach everything. So we're alternating with the topaz bicones on top. So we'll start with that. Whatever combination you choose, it's your baby. This one, and go to the red bicones. Slide them on the loop, open it up a little more. Slide it inside the loop. Close. Third one. Open it up. Slide it inside that third loop. Close. And last but not least, slide that one inside my little loop and close. Ta-da! There it is. Here's my other earring. Isn't that cute? And then whatever shaping you need to do around your ear. That's what you do. Here's my earring. And as you're working with it, it's probably going to get all misshapen. So what you do is put it back on your ear. Go back to the other camera. I've got it on my ear and I just shape it until the beads fall the way I want them. So I want that right on top of my ear here, just beyond the end. There we go. There it is. This is the first time you get to see the reveal in the middle of the make. Okay, so there we go. There's our second one. Neat, huh? Okay, Put those to the side, and let's do earring number 3, which is this one. Yay. Put all this other stuff away, out of my way. So I'm going to make a spiral. Let me get down here to the other camera. Okay, so I've got my frame, wrapped it around my ear again, just like the others. And I want to give myself 2 inches of wire to make my spiral. And the easiest way to do that is to put it on your ear, have the 2 inches hanging down, and mark off where the top of your ear is, because this is going to be hanging down the front of your ear. And then, just like you did on the other one, put a little bend in the wire before you take it off your ear, so you know where it should be. And now I'm going to make a spiral. So like this. So what I'm going to do is take my pliers, grab my wire on the tip with the tip of my pliers, and just make a tiny little loop in the direction of the curve. Small loop. Then I'm going to keep wrapping the wire around itself. See if I can get up there where you can see a little better. And this is free form and a very loose spiral. So the edges of the wire don't need to be touching, or the wire doesn't need to be touching, like this one. I'm just going to use my pliers to continue my wrap. And again, I want to make sure that it's an open spiral, meaning that the wires don't have to touch. I gave myself a good 6.5. You can do 6.5, 7, 8 inches of wire if you're more comfortable and you're not sure how big a spiral you want to make, just to be safe. Get that little bend out that I put in. And now, because I already have one made, I need to match it up with the other one. So let's see what I've got. Where's it? It's pretty good. Yeah, very nice. And now it's time to do the other side. Once you've got your spiral in, put it back in your ear, on your ear, and reshape it. Because when you're doing your spiral, it's going to get all misshapen. So just reform it. I'm not going to get all that trouble because I can shape it after. And so can you, by the way. But for this part, I need to know where to cut it off for my other loop that I have right down here. So I only need about 3/8 of an inch for my loop. So I'm going to cut it right here where I've marked it. Snip. Holding onto that tail, checking again. I like to check several times just to be sure everything is good. Yep, there we go. There it is, and that's where my loop needs to go. There's my end of wire, and let's make my loop. And this loop is going to go out away from the curve. So there's the curve of my wire, and it's going to go this way, out from the circle. So I'm going to take it down that quarter of a way down, rotate till I have a loop. There we go. There's my frame. Now what you can do for all of these, I'm using 20 gauge wire, and just to make it a little stiffer, take a little mallet. I just use this rubber mallet. I'm so proud of my little mallet. I got it from the dollar store. And it does just fine. I'm not trying to flatten my wire. I'm just trying to strengthen it. So flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, now notice all of the hammering causes it to go, I'm out of shape now, no. So just go back and shape it. Very simple. Wire's still very malleable. It will do what you say. There we go. Nice. All right, now I'm ready to do my dangles. Now, I've already done the one dangle. You see me do this before, so I don't need to do it 15 billion times, but this one I did a wrapped loop. So I wanted to show you how to do a wrapped loop. So what we need to do is grab a piece of wire, and this one's already cut, so I may as well use it. Why not? So I'm going to do a wrapped loop, and for that, I'm going to need a good 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of wire on each side of my beads. The easiest way to know how much you need is to put your beads on. And then measure. If you have a good 1/2 inch on each side, you're good to go. So I have a good 1/2 inch on each side. So I can go ahead and take these off, or I can just leave them on and bend on one side, bend on the other side. And obviously this is way too long on this side, and I can just cut it off. Cut off what I don't need. So just bend it, grab my round nose pliers. Slide it down to that little place, 1/4 of an inch down on my pliers, at least that's where I'm going, and make a loop, or a 1/2 loop in this case. Open my pliers and turn them, bring my wire around the rest of the way under the pliers, and there's my loop. Now I'm going to take my square pliers and hold it, or you can hold it with the round pliers, or you can hold it with the pliers inside the loop. It's your choice how you want to do it. And just wrap the tail of my wire just under the loop. My other pliers, because now I have this really short tail. Just wrap that around. Until I have no wire left, and then just push down the end until it's rests right there in between the other wires, and stick you. You certainly don't want that bobbing on your ear and scratching your ear. So just push that down so it's nice and snuggly buggly. Straighten up my little loop there. There we go. Let's go to the other side and wrap that. Grab my pliers, slide them under my wire. About a quarter of the way down is my little marker. Bring it over the top. Wrap it around. Here's my little loop. I showed you how to do it with the pliers on the inside. Now I'm going to show you holding the loop on the side and just wrap it around a couple of times. And when I have my wrap, cut off the end, cut off that tail, as close as I can get. Snip that off and push that end down under the other wires so it won't snag on my ear. That is never comfortable, having wires poking you. There we go. Nice and snuggly buggly. I don't know why I'm saying snuggly buggly. That sounds ridiculous. Well, anyway, so now I need to attach to my frame. I've got a couple of jump rings here, and I'm going to attach one. And the reason I need the jump rings is because both of my ends are wrapped. Now this end could have just attached directly to my frame, but just for continuity's sake, I'm going to go ahead and use a jump ring on the end with the frame and in between the two links. So, and I also have this open ring on the bottom that you don't have to have if you don't want. You can close it off and make a head pin, or you can use a head pin and wrap that. But this way I can add something if I want to. And that was initially what I was going to do. But because I have these others that are so long, I decided to make this one a little shorter so you could see the differences in length. You don't have to have them all hanging all down your ear. Okay, anyway, grab one of my jump rings, open it up, attach it to my frame. Okay, slide my whatever the first bead is going to be on. Close up my jump ring. Okay, grab my second jump ring. Open it. Attach it to the bottom ring on my link. Attach that. Slide the other link in the jump ring as well. And close. And there we are. There's my other set pair of earrings. Isn't that cute? It looks like a little heart. Oh, anyway, I'm punch drunk for some reason. Probably 4 hours of sleep. Ideas in my head. Don't let me sleep. Okay, so there is my other set of earrings. Ta-da! You can tell that I made this one a while ago because it has oxidized, and this that I just took off the spool is very, very bright. And this one's already turning a little more reddish, which I love. So now I just have to get them in the same spot. But you can't really see much of this anyway. Nobody's gonna know. Anyway, so there it is. Just a word. Somebody was asking me about, they said, oh, I don't want to have to bother oxidizing if I use copper, blah, blah, blah. You really don't have to. It will oxidize to a certain point on its own. And what you can do, I always make sure that my students know that this is going to happen. This wire is going to darken. So just be prepared for that, and be aware that that's going to happen. And also know that if you do what I've just done here and make something and then go back a week later to make something to go with it, one of those wires is not, the wires are not going to be the same color. They will get there at some point because they only oxidize to a certain point and stop. But just know that that is going to be the case. A little bit of a lesson. That's it. That is it. That is it. So let's look at all three of our earrings, sets of earrings. Okay, there they are. There are our earrings. Yay! Ta-da! They look great. I love it. I love doing new things. So now we have some ear wraps or ear cuffs. I've heard it referred to in a couple of different ways that you can wear, that you do not have to have pierced ears. You do not have to wear the ear clips that sometimes are not comfortable at all. You can loop this over your ear. And I was afraid, I thought, oh, that's probably going to irritate me after a while, but nothing. They're so lightweight, and it depends on the beads that you use as far as whether or not they'll hang heavy, but these didn't. These crystals are very light. The wire is very light. I forgot I had one. I was wearing one of them, and I forgot I had it on. I was just trying it out just to see if it would irritate me or bother me, having that, first of all, having all these things dangling, and having the frame around my ear didn't bother me at all. So comfortable. Don't come off either. That was the other thing I was afraid of. I thought, oh, what if you bump it and it just falls off? Nope, does not come off unless you take it off. So long as you have it wrapped around your ear properly, and by that I mean you have to make sure it's shaped to your ear so that it will stay in place, and it will. So this is an awesome thing that I've not done before in a class, and I'm so glad to be able to share it with you because I have so many people that don't have pierced ears and can't take advantage of the pierced earring tutorials unless they're able to find those ear clips, which are sometimes iffy at most as far as how they'll fit. This way, you don't have to worry about that. You shape them to fit your ear, you plop them on, easy as pie. Neatest thing in the world. I love them. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know one way or the other. If you get a kit, you'll get enough beads to make all of these earrings. Everything here you will be able to make. So go for it. Have a good time. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time, and try to stay cool. Bye-bye.